and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So today is MLM Horror Stories, which you guys know I do every single Friday. I think we're on Horror Story 25 or 24, something like that. But if you want to send me your MLM horror story, I have my email down below for you to do that. Now today, as you can see, I'm wearing my, yes, Michael Myers top because tomorrow is Halloween. Tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, I'm so excited. Halloween is one of my favorite okay, let me just be honest. It's on the top two, Christmas and Halloween, and Michael is my favorite. And I actually had someone send me like spooky MLM horror stories, and I was like, girl, you know me. So we are going to be reading that one first in honor of Halloween being tomorrow. And then the rest of the stories we read tonight won't be, or tonight, I upload this in the morning. This morning, the rest that we are going to read are not going to be spooky MLM horror stories, but the beginning will. So I'm really, really, really excited for that. So grab your coffee. And on that note, I also have this cup, or I shouldn't say cup, tumbler from a small business. This is one of the cutest tumblers I have ever received. A woman from a small business made this and sent it to me. So if you guys want to go and check her store out, I will link her down below. She makes a bunch of stuff, mugs, tumblers, anything you need, girl, anything you need. And I thought this one was so cute for fall and for this time, you know, pumpkin, Halloween, just perfection. So let's get into today's video. That was a long intro. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, and let's do this. So this says, hey Deanna, you're my favorite anti-MLM YouTuber and my first channel membership. I have a quick story about something super cringy I did when I was in Beachbody. It was Halloween 2015 and I was at the peak of my Beachbody brainwashing. When kids came trick-or-treating at my house, I handed out packets of Shakeology to parents. I remember this one lady giving me the most what the fuck look when I gave it to her. I did not make any sales from that night, shocking, right? But my team thought it was the greatest thing ever when I told them what I was doing. Keep up the good work, girl. So on Halloween, when kids came trick-or-treating, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. You gave Shakeology packets to the parents and candy to the kids. That's funny. I mean, I have to laugh at that one. That one is a funny one, and I think it's totally hilarious. Let me know what you guys think down below. And it's probably actually common now that I think about it. I wonder if they're gonna do anything this year, like MLM reps during Halloween. And I know there's a bunch of stipulations because of COVID and everything, but I'm curious if anyone's going to do something during Halloween to promote their MLM. Next, MLM Horror Story says, hey D, I really love all your anti-MLM videos. And if it weren't for you and Kiki, I wouldn't have known Amway was an MLM. If I could please stay anonymous, I have a story that's not about me, but my oldest sister. Now, a little backstory about my family. I have 4 older siblings, me being the youngest. My mom was 40 when she had me, so there's a huge age gap between me and all of my siblings. We were lower middle class with both my parents working, so we didn't really have a lot of money. Anyways, this sister in particular is a bit off her rocker. Haha, that's the nicest way I can describe her without going on a rant. Anyway, the reason I even bring up the age thing is because I'm 24 now and my sister is 42 or 43, which means I didn't really understand a lot of her pyramid scheme until I got into my 20s. She has a really addictive personality and she has a lot of hate and bitterness about certain things, which is like getting hit between a rock and a hard place when you talk to her. She's extremely religious. I'm not, but I don't have an issue with religious people except her because, like I said, she has a very addictive personality. When she found God, I can't say it was the best for her. It honestly might have been the worst thing for her. She's extremely homophobic and racist, though she pretends she's not because she wants to keep face that she's a perfect Christian woman. I promise this is relevant to her MLM story and is no way bashing Christianity. Anyways, she uses her religion to push a lot of her beliefs on my family and friends her friends and members of the church. She is completely obsessed with the Bible and God, and you could talk to her about coffee and it turns into a mini sermon. Before she got roped in with the granddaddy of MLMs, Amway, she spent all of her money on religious themed stuff. Jewelry, CDs, posters, books, DVDs, any kind of merchandise. Also, another important fact, she still lived with my parents until she was in her 30s. rent-free. She never paid them a dime. Every week she was broke because she bought so much junk. Again, with her addictive personality, and maybe even because my mom is the same way, a hoarder, she became a hoarder. Like an OCD, neat freak, germaphobe hoarder. It's strange. She used to wear sandwich bags on her hands when she left the room, like that kind of germaphobe. Well, she ended up hoarding her room and even bought a shed for our backyard with more stuff inside. When I was in my late grade school, or when I started middle school, is when she got into Amway. I'm not exactly sure how she did it. It could have stemmed from my mom being in Avon for a few years, but my sister never did it, so I can't say for sure. That contributed to her hoard. Looking back, I remember my mom buying way more shampoo, soap, and other toiletries than usual, and they all smell weird. I actually remember my brother dumping a lot of it out in the tub because the hoard was beginning to take over the bathroom. Now, my parents and extended family are very unhealthy. My mom at the time was pre-diabetic and her brother was super diabetic. He has to take shots and also has a pacemaker and a few other things basically to keep him alive and stable. He was forced to retire about 15 years early because of it. Oh. He lives alone, so his work was really the only thing he had. She used that, like a lot of MLMers, to prey on him. Now here's the kicker, and why me bringing up her religion is important. She uses both to exploit people. My uncle is religious as well and doesn't go to church, but he's very adamant about his religion. Even though it was over 10 years ago, I remember going to see him with her and my parents before he got really bad. My mom thought maybe my sister and uncle could talk about their religion to maybe help him feel better about life. He lived alone, no wife, no kids, not even a pet. So he jumped on the idea and they talked about the usual, God has a plan. There's a reason for everything and this is a good time to reconnect with him. He kind of broke down and talked about how hard living was now because he has something wrong with his heart on top of being severely diabetic. He has 2 different doctors who gave him lists of food he can and cannot eat. They contradicted each other, meaning on one list he had foods he could eat. The other list said the food on the first list he couldn't eat and vice versa. So out of the 2, there were like 2 things he could eat, crackers and fruit. He tried talking to both doctors and they said they would have to try finding a middle ground, but it would take time. He either took one or the other, so he focused on his diabetic list, and in the end he had a mini heart attack that resulted in him having a pacemaker. She, I'm guessing your sister, she legit looked him dead in the eye and said, well, your problem is the doctors don't know anything. I have my own company that sells cure-all vitamins that will cure your diabetes. They'll help you lose weight too, which will also cure your heart problems. Also, insulin shots are poison, blah, blah, blah. He was like, no, I'm gonna listen to my doctors. I pay them for that and I can literally die without my insulin. My sister did this with all of my mom's family. Uses her love of God to reel them into conversation, and when they open up about their troubles or health issues, she uses it as a sales pitch. Ooh. Self-help books, vitamins, essential oils, literally anything anyone has used to say this cures depression, diabetes, fighting with your husband, divorce him, and I can help empower you and get you on a good diet plan. Buy my stuff. She did end up getting a few members of my family to buy her vitamins or the books, but when my cousin got really sick from taking them, they stopped. It's disgusting. The worst part is she actually believes she has a cure for anything. Even members of her church weren't safe. She actually manipulated them so much that 1, she wasn't giving my parents any money for living there. 2, she would have her church pay for like taking her car into the shop or paying some of her college debt. Like she never takes responsibilities for her choices or actions. She went to college for psychology and thought right out of graduation she'd work with prisoners. No experience. When she was told no, that she had to have so much experience, she said, quote unquote, they're stupid and don't know what they're talking about, end quote. I never tried finding something else in her field for years. So basically, she went to college, got in debt for almost nothing, and had other people help pay it off while scamming them into her Amway business. Fast forward to when I'm a freshman in high school. I was having issues with my period where it was irregular and super painful. When my mom was talking to my doctor about finding an OB, here comes my sister saying that I needed vitamins and blah, blah, blah to my mom, trying to get her to once again buy stuff. I feel like she's finally had enough that time and and told her she's actually sick and really needs a doctor, not fake medicine. This was common almost weekly. Someone says anything about not feeling good or even a sneeze, she's trying to sell her shit. There was actually a year that for Christmas, she had us look through a catalog and we could pick out things. When I was old enough to get a job, I was talking to her about how our nieces wanted Lego sets. I guess Amway is, or was partnered with them, so she tried to get me to make an Amway account to buy it through them. I found the sets for $20 cheaper on Amazon and told her, and she got so mad and offended I couldn't use her code to get it from Amway. This is like really bad. Fast forward again. I've graduated and got a job at a family-owned bakery/deli. I see someone I recognize from her church that actually was my sister's best friend. She recognized me too, and we got to talking a little bit as I made her food and actually found out they had a huge fight and falling out because for years my sister roped her into Amway. And she decided to leave when she got pregnant for the third time because the first two, she felt she didn't spend enough time with them because he was constantly working her real job in Amway. My sister went completely nuts on her and said she was just lazy and that she has a husband who could do more for her children. Yikes. She completely crossed the line with her friend and her friend finally got out. I actually got pregnant that same year with my daughter and oh my gosh, she was obsessed with my pregnancy. Same with my older sister with her 2 kids and tried to pitch us saying her company sells prenatals that are better than the store or prescribed from others. After she was born, my daughter, my sister realized I was never gonna buy stuff from Amway myself. So in order for her to prove how good her products were, she ordered me cleaning supplies. They didn't work and I tossed them. A week after she gave them to me, she asked me how much I loved it and I was honest with her that it didn't work and I didn't like it and that I'm glad I didn't waste any money on it. She got really mad and didn't talk to me for a while. I found out from my mom that she spent $70 on a bottle of multi-purpose cleaner, a box of powdered bleach, and a weird bottle of sanitizer. That's it. Now, my sister seems to be a little unique. I've watched hundreds of anti-MLM videos and the common theme is recruitment. She's only recruited people outside our family and even then, I don't think she's even recruited that many people. She mostly pushes sales. She also buys a lot of her own products and gives them to people for free to show them how good they are, which I guess I've heard before, but yeah, it's weird how she didn't try to recruit as much as she did to sell. I didn't really know a lot about Amway as an MLM, but it seems like they target Christian couples or women like my sister, who is single with no kids, whose life completely revolves around God or church. She's completely brainwashed and believes that Amway is a gift from God. She uses it for most of her shopping and rarely goes to the store unless it's for something Amway doesn't sell. She's been to retreats that Amway hosts multiple times, and I never understood how she could afford the plane tickets and hotel rooms. You want to know the kicker? My sister had a real job too. A job that paid a decent amount of money, and after my parents lost their house and she was forced to get her own apartment, amazing how she suddenly could afford it, but then never paid my parents a dime for 15 plus years. She lived on her own for 7 years and never seemed to have issues paying for herself. Well, back in October of last year, she quit her real job to focus on her relationship with God and put all of her attention in her business. She's still unemployed now, and my 17-year-old niece told me she's overheard my sister taking... Wait, hold up. Let's back up. My 17-year-old niece told me she overheard my sister's talking. My sister cashed out her retirement fund and has been using it. Oh, lordy lord. Then I found out the reason she did that was to buy her own products from Amway and trying to push it on even more people. She had her church pay for her bills and taking her car to the shop while she used her retirement money on Amway. I guess that her quote-unquote dream job isn't doing well because she's moving out of the city to start a new real job within the next month. So yeah, haha, here's my crazy sister MLM story. Sorry if it isn't the best written, it's kind of hard to organize the points since the beginning of her journey was when I was young and I'm not really close to her. Guys, yikes, there's so much to unpack. So I have definitely seen when we talk about MLM horror stories where people use religion or God as a recruitment tactic. It's very common, and a lot of people who are very in tune with their religion, whatever religion it may be, I'm not judging over here what religion you are, but they will take that religion and really put it upon people. They will go to their church, or like this person unfortunately used her church. Her church was sitting there paying off debt and all of these things because she probably works with the church and stuff. So her church is helping her pay off all of these things, which is amazing. But in return, she's using her retirement money and everything else on Amway when her church is paying her debt, which to me sounds kind of sketchy. I don't know what you guys have to say about it, but I do find this a very unique story in the sense that, yeah, she didn't focus on recruiting. She didn't try and recruit everyone, but she focused solely on the products, which is something that I have wanted. I have dreamed of MLMs doing, where they would just focus on the product and focus on you liking the product. If you use it and you like it, by all means, sell the product, right? Be honest with people, be straightforward, sell products. But while she was trying to sell the product, she was going after people who had diabetes. And this girl has an issue with her menstrual cycle, okay? And she tries to tell her sister that these vitamins and stuff are gonna help. Please tell me where that it's going to help a menstrual cycle be like good, okay? Where you are just not gonna have an irregular cycle anymore because we've got the vitamins for you. But all in all, I definitely can see where if she is a hoarder, why it makes sense what she's doing with her money and how she's going about things. If she does have an obsessive compulsive disorder, that can make a lot of sense. So I'm not here like trying to like diagnose anybody. I know I'm just in my bachelor's program for psychology, but what I'm saying is a lot of these things that she's doing can make sense based on what her sister has said she's dealing with. So this story was crazy. It was one of the longest stories. It's so insane to me how these things happen. And she had a good job, and that stinks so much to see that someone has a good job. She clearly had a retirement fund going, which is great. Everyone should be focusing on a retirement fund. She had so many things going for her, and then she lets Amway just come in and take it all, snatch all that shit. Okay, snatched it from her. That was a lot to unpack. I'm not going to say any more about that. I would love to hear what you guys have to think down below. Again, I love that she was focusing on sales and the products, but she was doing it in the wrong ways. And if you, in an MLM, in my opinion, in an MLM, if you can really focus on the products and you market yourself in a great way and you're honest and you're straightforward and you tell people, yeah, I work for an MLM, I'm a distributor, and you're honest, that's what I appreciate. I appreciate people who are straightforward, who are honest, who just like a product and they make some commission off of it. Those are the people that I more so appreciate in MLMs, but I don't appreciate it when they do all of that or try and recruit people with disorders or health problems. Oh, yikes. That was a rough one. Let's move on to another one. So this one says, "Hi Deanna, I've been watching your videos for a couple of months now. I love the way you cover so many of these horror stories while not attacking the Huns personally. I want to share my story. I've never actually been in an MLM, but I've had one affect mine and my children's lives in a pretty negative, hurtful way. So my immediate neighbor community consists of about 20 houses within a huge neighborhood. One of my neighbors, let's call her Liza, because she lies a lot. Let's go with it. Let's run with Liza. She is/was a rep for It Works. When I first moved into the neighborhood, she acted like she wanted to be my friend. It made sense to me. Backstory, I worked with her husband for about 10 years prior to the meeting. Slowly, I started getting invited to hang out at her house. I had just recently had my first child. So I thought she wanted to start bonding with another mom in the neighborhood, and as a new mom, I wanted mom friends. At first, I didn't notice that she never had me over without having her dumb wraps out on the counter or talking about how she needed to take her It Works vitamins or green powdered whatever. I was also never invited over unless she had another It Works rep over at her house at the same time. Once I even got tricked into coming to her house for a party in which I was the guest of honor. She said it was a coffee date. The coffee date consisted of Liza, her upline, another It Works rep, myself, and my newborn. The three of them sat around talking about how great the company was and then focused their attention on me. A brochure was shoved in my hands. Ding, ding, ding. I realized what was happening. Fortunately, my newborn had a poop explosion, so I was able to use that as an excuse to make a quick exit. I've never been happier about a number 2 incident. This is a good one. Anyways, that afternoon, Liza blew up my phone with links to those dumb wraps and asked me if I'd like to try one at a discounted price. I declined. She knew I had just quit my job to be a stay-at-home mom. I didn't have extra money to be spending on nonsense. She was totally taking advantage of the insecurities that most women have right after giving birth. We just had a conversation about how I was getting back to the gym to lose weight. She told me that the wraps would expedite the process and make me feel better about myself. She also told me that the wraps were cheaper than my gym membership. No, Liza. Then she had the audacity to tell me that I wouldn't have mom guilt over leaving my newborn with strangers at the gym daycare while I worked out. Insert face slap. The whole situation just made me sick. I was super polite about declining. I even thanked her for thinking of me. After that, she shunned me and worked really hard at making sure all of the other moms in the neighborhood did the same. She got all of them to join It Works briefly. I was the odd man out and was no longer invited to the neighborhood kids' birthday parties, the mom get-togethers, community pool barbecues, holiday events, and just about anything else. I'm a pretty social person, so when my new neighbors moved in, I tried to meet them ASAP and make them feel welcome. A couple of them told me that they initially had their guard up with me because Liza told them that I am unsociable and don't show up to events when invited and they shouldn't bother inviting me. This is all because I wouldn't join her team, buy some stupid wraps, and overpriced garbage vitamins. I know this isn't as horrible as many MLM horror stories. I didn't lose money. I didn't blow up people's newsfeeds with scams. I nearly was tricked into thinking someone wanted to be my friend when they didn't. That my family was shunned because Hun was butthurt that I didn't let her make money off of me. As a stay-at-home mom, having your neighbors as friends can be invaluable. Anyways, keep the awesome videos coming. I'd love to see them on the trending page. More people need to know about these scammers. Have a great day. So I know this person said like this horror story isn't as horrible as others, but I feel like every horror story is unique, right? Every horror story is different and it's unique in its own way, and it's horrible for the person that's going through it. And I don't like to compare like one horror story to another saying like, yeah, yours is worse than the other, because I think everyone's validated in their horror story. Everyone's validated in the good or bad experience that they have had with MLMs or MLMers. So with this one, I do think it's really messed up. One, that you just had a baby, so she was kind of like preying on that with the It Works wraps and the vitamins, because It Works, in my opinion, is very much a company where they promote that fad stuff, okay? They promote these wraps that are gonna make you lose a bunch of weight, that you're gonna be able to keep that weight off, and they don't really promote this healthy lifestyle or healthy, sustainable lifestyle where you go to the gym, where you start to eat right, where you start to implement things back into your lifestyle to become a happier, healthier version of yourself, right? They don't promote that. They promote putting wraps on and you're gonna lose your water weight, and then when you drink water, you're gonna get that weight right back. It just doesn't make sense. So yeah, while you just had a baby, they kind of preyed upon that scenario that, oh, she's a good one, like she's a good mom to get. And I also think it's really sad because being someone, I'm not a mom, right? But being someone who's military spouse, I know how it is to move into a neighborhood where you don't know anybody, where you're really looking for friendships, but you really don't want to go out and find them. You're just like hoping they can come to you. You're hoping that you can bond with them on another level. Like, oh, you're a mom, I'm a mom, let's bond. And to kind of have yourself shunned because you don't want to buy MLM products and your whole neighborhood won't even invite you to events or to celebrations for kids or birthday parties or anything is really sad. Like, that's the place you live. Like, if you bought a home in that neighborhood, you're gonna want that. Like, you want that relationship with people in your neighborhood. And it's just so sad that someone would go to those lengths to do that. And this is just a scenario where sometimes people in MLM, some are just bad people, right? There are bad people in every career. There are bad people no matter where you go in life. I don't know if she was brainwashed or if she was just not a nice human in general, because again, there are just not nice humans everywhere. There are people on YouTube who are not nice humans. There are people at the grocery store that work there that are not nice humans, but then there are also amazing people you're gonna find on YouTube and amazing people that work in a grocery store, but I don't know which one she is. Comment down below. Do you think she's just a Karen, not a nice person? Or do you think her company brainwashed her to do what she did to this woman? I'm kind of curious, because part of me doesn't think it's the brainwashing, because that's just human decency. Like, you don't go into your neighborhood and do all of that unless you're just in general not a nice person. I don't know, I don't see even a brainwashed person doing that. Or maybe they would. I don't know. Let me know down below what you guys think about that one. But I hope everything's going well now. I hope people in the neighborhood maybe are not in It Works anymore and they realize that it's just not a good thing, and hopefully you've made some friends. But that is going to be it for today's MLM horror stories. I know usually they're much longer than this, but I've just been pre-filming a lot of videos, and I also have like 2 other videos to film today, so I didn't make this one that long, so I hope you guys aren't mad at me for that. But I do hope you guys have an amazing Friday. You have an amazing Halloween, even if, you know, quarantining Halloween. Hopefully you do something with your kids in the house to make it fun, or with your spouse, with your friends, with your families, in quarantine with masks and all of that jazz, because I don't condone otherwise. But that is going to be it. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this. Let's root these women on, because today we read 3 stories with women who sent them to me. So let's root these women on, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I upload 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wednesday videos are always lifestyle videos. I've been loving adding that back into my channel, and Monday and Fridays are always educating, informing about MLM. So if you like content like that, whether it's lifestyle or anti-MLM content, I'm the girl for you, and I will catch you guys in Monday's video.